Hi guys, this is sort of a follow-up video for my Luzz Cannon 2 review, and maybe I could expand a little bit more about this paddle and comparing it to the old one, the Pro Cannon or Cannon 1, uh, because I've used this paddle more now, and maybe right about the same amount of time that I've broken in a cannon. So I've had multiple cannons before, uh, and I know for sure that it breaks in for maybe around 3 weeks to a month, maybe even more. Like maybe I would say it's like a constant breaking in. Like it does get better after 3 weeks to a month, then it gradually gets better and better. Well, when then eventually it breaks. I've only broken one cannon, the rare one, but it's still playable. You can hear the crunch when you force it, but it's not really that noticeable in game. How much power it has, or how much power was added because of the core crushing. But yeah, that's just how it is. So basically, in the video I said that this didn't need breaking in. Well, it doesn't, but it does break in, because out of the box, this is probably, out of all the paddles I've tried, this is probably the best out of the box paddle, because of how it feels and how it's internally weighted and every. But that's just my opinion, right? Even now, I started out with weights. Now I don't even have weights. I didn't put any weights on it. I just added a Hesacore grip just to bring the balance point down, and it improves stability actually without the weight. So it's a lighter feel, but with the stability of a Hesacore and the weight uh, added by it. Because I removed the stock grip, then I added Hesacore, so it's probably 2 grams, which I would probably add to a cannon with 2 overgrips. I usually add 2 grams at the bottom, then I have like this tungsten tape here. Well, I don't have it here because I ran out, but it used to have tungsten tape. Uh, so this is just better overall for me, out of the box, and then after breaking in. So the only difference is, like I said, this gets better uh, after just playing with it, so it gets better and better and better. This, I noticed that probably on the I would say before the third week, or the third week, during that third week, it felt really weird. It because at first it felt really soft, and the dwell was really good. The spin generated by the dwell is really good. Then at some point it started to stiffen up. For like, it became, I'm not gonna say brand new cannon, but it's similar to the feeling of a brand new cannon. Like at some point it became stiff. Then I actually I was kind of worried or disappointed, because why does it feel this way? Then I gave it a bit more time, uh, switching back and forth with my gherkin, and then it's suddenly became better again. Like there was just a point of it being stiff, then it became soft again. So I think that was like the breaking in point, like the core like settled in or something. That's how it happens with breaking in. But now it's so good that I stopped using my gherkin, my Draco hybrid. This is just too good for me. Huh? It's just the way it feels, the way everything, just how I think, how I reset, how I serve, drive, attack, counters, overheads. It's just, it's a good balance of everything. Don't get me wrong, man. The Gherkin Draco was an absolute, uh, like, it was a killer paddle. Like, the power and threat it had on the court is, I don't think a Gen 3 paddle can match that. Like, it had that foam power, but it had some Gen 3 feel. So it's a really nice combination for a paddle. It's just maybe I'm just uh, more of a gentry person. So maybe, I mean, I'm not gonna like say the Gherkin's bad. It's not. It's actually probably it's the best foam paddle I've used. Like I think it's even better than the J6CR. The J6CR just has more spin, but it's a bit stiffer. They play similarly actually, but the Gherkin had more of a softer face. I think it had more power, uh, and you know it's just different. Uh, I don't know. I just stuck with this. This mm, this this just feels better to use for me than the foam pad like the Gherkin. And to compare to this feels way better because this is a direct comparison, right? This is Gen 3 versus Gen 3, and even the same model. This has more raw power still. I think this still has more raw power. Well, when it's set up, right? That's how I can compare it. But this is just a stiffer paddle. I haven't checked the swing weight, but I think because it's not internally weighted, I think they have the same swing weight, but this doesn't have internal weighting. So this is has more material overall than just added weights, right? There's like a carbon strip at the sides that I think adds weight, but at the same time it adds stiffness. So power wise, this is really more powerful, but this has more of everything. So I think I've mentioned that in my previous review, and I'm gonna stand by it. I just had this one time that I got really scared because it performed a little differently than I was expecting it to, but now it's all settled in, and I made my choice. I'm not gonna uh, go back to the Gherkin Draco. I actually gave it to my girlfriend, so I think she likes it more than I do. She uses a Canon as well, a rare Canon that she really likes, but I think the Gherkin will suit her more because of just the extra pop, the extra hand speed, and yeah, I guess. And Annalee Waters uses a hybrid, so it kinda, so for some reason it makes her play better. The hybrid shape, maybe just the elongated is too head heavy for her. So maybe as an additional part of this video, how does it compare to the, I would say the OG Gentry God, or the probably the benchmark of Gentry paddles? Like I mean, even RPM based their paddles on this, the Joola Pro 4, and uh, I think personally this paddle is in the middle of these two. Let's just say from power, this is the most powerful, least powerful, control wise, most controllable, least controllable. So it's right there. It has more power than this, and it has more control than this. And personally, I've been dreaming of that paddle when this was released. When I was using this, that oh, I wish it had less power and more control like this paddle, because I've always tried to mimic this paddle to play like I've always tried to mimic how this paddle plays to this paddle, and I've tried matching its balance point, its twist weight, its swing weight, and the static weight, everything else. Like because they look similar, but this has more like a pronounced cheek. This has a longer handle, but they are the stats say that they're pretty similar. Then when I found out that Ben Johns uses a 5.5 tungsten strip, then I think a stock grip, then one over grip, which this is a Ben Johns setup. I I loved it, right? I loved how it feel. Like it really felt like you could do, like you could play all the shots with this setup. And then I tried to mimic it by, well, start by putting the same amount of tungsten. Then the balance point was off, so I added 2 grams here. Then the swing weight was a bit higher here, and the balance point was still not there, so I reduced the tungsten tape here by 0.5 inches. So I got it to similarly the same space. It played really well. I really like this paddle actually, but deep down, like in pressure situations, it lacked what this had, control. So I think That's very important in situations like you're defending. Like, some opponents are not gonna lose easily, right? They're gonna be defending and they're gonna be attacking, and just sometimes it's easier to attack than to defend, and to defend you need more control. So maybe some of you are wondering, why am I not using the Pro 4, and why am I using other paddles and trying out new paddles? And well, it's more of a personal thing, because this is not a cheap paddle. These two are not even the same price as this. This is, I think, in total, probably in pesos, it's 12. At the higher end of its price, like without a sale or a discount, it's 14. This was 16.5, and it's not. That's even at a low point. Like, this sells for like 17,000 pesos. I don't know how to just convert that in your currency, but everyone knows that this is an expensive paddle, period. And basically, the grit is not at its best anymore, even though I've taken care of this paddle. It's not core crushed or anything. It's just I have this goal that I want to get used to a paddle that I can use for a long time or buy multiple times. Because, like, what would happen, what it's like what happened here is that, oh, I really like this paddle, but I can't buy another one of these. I told myself that I'm not gonna buy anything more than probably 12,000 pesos or $200. I'm not gonna do that anymore. And well, would durable grit be an exception, or a foam paddle? Probably, but I think foam is not for me. So that's just my opinion. So, speaking of durable grit, this is advertised to have durable grit, and yeah, you can hear that. If you can hear this and hear that and this. Surprisingly, the Canon ones they have underrated grit. I don't know why people keep saying that they're smoothing out. Like, maybe I just got lucky, because all the Canons I've got, like, they have really good grit. Maybe it smoothens out a bit, but not like like it's still usable. It still produces good spin, but this is so much better, actually. And in a way, this gathers less dust on the court for some reason than this, and then it's easier to clean. It kind of has that it's a different shine, as you can see. Like, oh, there's a ball. Ooh, that's a good sweet spot. You can see that there's a different coloration on it, but grit wise, this is better than this is better than that. Durability wise, no one can testify yet if the claims are true that 10,000 ball hits, it's certified or guaranteed for that amount of ball hits. But looking at the internals of this, it seems promising. The paddles that have the same internals, like I said in my previous video, is the Aspire, the Zocker Aspire Signature, Pro Signature, something like that, Aspire Pro, and the Wika Predator. So I haven't heard any news about core crushing with this or those paddles. I do have a friend that has that Aspire Pro, the Zocker, and the grit was smoothened out on the middle, like a typical like peel ply paddle, and it's kind of disappointing how that's more expensive, and then that just happened. So this seems promising to me. At almost the same price as this is actually cheaper now because of this release, but people are still buying this paddle. This is still one of those paddles that it can generate power, and if you only like power at that price point, I think this is hard to beat. And this is still one of those paddles that you can't really say for sure that a person will like, because some people can't generate their own power. This has that power, but this is not top tier. Like, this is probably low tier or mid tier power. All of these are power paddles, and this is probably low tier, mid tier, maybe even lower, because Gherkin is considered mid tier, and I think that's a powerful paddle. So Probably all of these are low tier, but this is close to mid tier, close to foam power, and these are just Gen 3 power. So I hope this video helps, and I haven't really seen much videos talking about this new paddle. Like, I've only seen Glider 2026 videos, uh, and I think this is totally underrated, like this one was before. Maybe this coming Christmas or uh, New Year's or something, this gets hyped up again, because this was that was the time this was hyped up. No one really knew about this paddle. I really liked it because it was all black, but no one reviewed it. No one used it. It was kind of shady because, you know, the name, Luzz, and people love this paddle eventually, and they still do to this day. So I hope this paddle gets that same amount of love, because it's a really good paddle. I think even Roscoe Bellamy, and I forgot the other person who sponsored. Roscoe Bellamy promotes the Glider 2026, and the Inferno 2 is the flagship model, but I saw him using this, and so that speaks a lot about this paddle, and how it's shaped, how it's formed, how it weighs, how it hits. It's a standard for most pros, like the Joola Pro 4 and the Pro 5. So if you want to check out the links, I have them at the description, and thank you so much for watching.